Hey yo, what's up guys? I'm going to be talking about Tokyo Ghoul Re Season 1 and 2, and yeah, it's going to be my review of the entire season. So I don't know, I want to keep it quite brief, kind of spoiler free kind of thing, not dive too much into it because it's been a while since I've seen all of it. But yesterday I watched the last episode of Season 2, episode 12. So yeah, I wanted to give my thoughts on the entire season as a whole. A quick summary of the entirety of this season, if you just want my opinion. Trash. Absolute trash. That's all I'm gonna say. That's all I can say. This adaptation is absolute trash. Don't get me wrong. Tokyo Ghoul Re and Tokyo Ghoul was one of my favorite mangas that I've read in a while. It's like one of my top. Would I say top 10? Could be. For me, it's a highly regarded anime. It's a highly regarded manga that I would consider one of my favorites, to be honest. But the studio clown, man, I don't know what you did to it, but it's completely ruined it, to be honest. Not gonna lie. I don't know why they did it like this, but it just completely ruined the vibe and everything. The adaptation is one of the worst adaptations I've seen in a while, to be honest. But that's pretty much what I think of it in the summary. So let me give you this number, right? 121. Do you know what that number stands for? It stands for the number of chapters they adapted in season 2. So, and just to put into clarification, right? A usual anime episode usually contains 2 to 3 manga chapters. That's like what you call normal pacing, right? Normal pacing. So if you think about like a 12 season anime, it's got 2 to 3 episodes. That's gonna be what, like it's gonna be, oh my god, my maths is about like 36 chapters roughly. But no, Tokyo Ghoul, they've got 121 chapters adapted in 12 episodes. Like, it's ridiculous how fast paced it is. And then they got the entirety of Re, which is 179 chapters in 24 episodes as well. So that's crazy to think that. And like if you're an anime only watcher, I would say like don't even bother watching this, to be honest. You're gonna have no idea what's going on. So let's start from the beginning, to be honest. Let's start from the absolute beginning. So we're going to talk about Tokyo Ghoul as a whole. So the Tokyo Ghoul manga, the manga side, right? I would say Tokyo Ghoul, it was pretty good. I read all of it. I liked it, to be honest. And then Re was pretty good as well. I won't lie. Some of the times, like, this character would do something, I'd be like, who's that? Who is this person? I forgot who he is. And then like there's so many characters, I got like, I would say I lost track of who every character was and everything. And I would say the ending of Re was pretty rushed, to be honest, like from the manga point of view. And then he even said it himself, like Shueisida even said it himself that it was burnt out from the manga. So obviously, in a sense, like, he kind of rushed it, I guess. Kind of disappointing, but I feel bad for the man. It's understandable why he did it. He's been working on it a while, tight deadlines and stuff like that. So from the manga point of view, for me, it was a very good series. I thoroughly enjoyed it, to be honest. And from the anime point of view, it's a mixed bag, to be honest. So initially, I was one of those goons who got drawn into the Tokyo Ghoul hype when the season 1 came out. Unravel. Unravel. As soon as you hear that Unravel, you get goosebumps every time you listen to it. And I'm like, yo. For me, Unravel is one of my classics. It's so iconic as well. Everyone knows that Unravel by TK. So I was one of those fools who watched the season 1, and I got sucked in straight in. I watched season 1 and I was all on board. So I loved it. At that point, I was anime only, and then I watched season 2 as well. Wait, season 2, and then so yeah, and then like that Jason fight, Kaneki versus Jason, that was the thing made our dreams. I think that's the reason, like, one of the best things I saw the highlight thing from the season 1. So in my opinion, still to now, season 1 was like, it was pretty good. It's a pretty good adaptation. Like, for an anime only, I could follow the story quite well. And then Route A came along, and then I was like, what's going on? So at that point, when I watched Route A, I was still an anime only kind of guy. So I watched it, and I was just like, okay. It was like iffy. For me, it was very iffy. I was like, okay, so this is what's happened. Alright. So the ending was a bit weird as well, and I was like, what's going on? Blah blah blah. And then after that, because of my interest and appreciation for the show, I had to go and read it, didn't I? Because there was nothing else out at the point. So what I did, I found out just before I read it. I just googled like where to start when I watched season 2, and then like people were saying that it's changed. So what I did was I started reading from the point in which season 1 ends, and I read from there. So as I was reading, and I was just like, what's happening? I was so confused because it was so different. Kaneki does not join Aoguri Tree. He fights them the whole time, stuff like that. Like there was such a big difference. And then I just realised that whole season 2 was an absolute farce that I've been fed. And I was like, I couldn't believe it. So after reading what actually happens in season 2, I just completely disregarded Tokyo Ghoul Route A, because it turns out it was an anime original. So I was like, this is trash. And then at that point, from the anime point of view, because Route A just completely derailed the whole story, I was like, how are they going to bring it back? So a lot of speculation was always about a reboot, a Tokyo Ghoul reboot. That's what I saw in every comment section, people wanting a Tokyo Ghoul reboot and stuff like that. And then obviously for me as well, it was just like, yeah, it makes sense because they've changed so many plot points that they couldn't redeem. Like like I was just like, what's going on? There's so many plot points were so different that it just wouldn't make sense for them to continue on with the series if they wanted to follow the adaptation. So obviously in my head as well, I was like, a reboot must happen of season 2 at least, to actually take it down the right path. But no. And but yeah, no, Studio Pierrot, they did something pretty, I would say it was pretty bold. They just completely ignored everything that happens in season 2 and just followed the plot of Tokyo Ghoul Re. I was like, whoa, that was a very bold statement, but I was like, damn, it was would I say it was the best choice of action? I guess it was a pretty good choice of action, to be honest, because I did want to see a full story of Re being, like, the whole Tokyo Ghoul series being animated, so I guess it was a pretty good choice in my opinion. But yeah, so like when I read the second season, which wasn't animated, the rest of Tokyo Ghoul, I thought it was pretty good actually. A lot of things were very different. The main thing was Kaneki did not join Aoguri Tree, and then we found out about Rize still kind of semi-alive at that point, and I don't know what's going on. And then that's another thing I noticed. A lot of things were really missed. A lot of details were missed as well. And then after Tokyo Ghoul, it's Tokyo Ghoul Re. So obviously at that point, when I was reading Tokyo Ghoul Re, the anime still hadn't come out, so I pretty much had the full manga experience. I would say I had the best possible experience, the best possible way you can experience Tokyo Ghoul Re at that point, which was the only experience you could have was the manga version. So I remember this, like, because I read it all properly as well, and so it was very good. The like the starting was I quite liked the introduction, new characters, everything. I liked the whole parallel with everyone. It was pretty good. And then the Tokyo Ghoul Re anime came out, obviously, because at that point it was already quite far into the series anyway of Re. When the anime came out, I was pretty hyped because I wanted to see the scenes that I've read, animated and everything. And I was just like, whoa, let's get into it. So I watched, the first thing I noticed when I watched episode 1 of Re was like, I was like, I'm pretty sure it took me several chapters to get to that point that they reached at the end of the episode 1. I was like, what's going on? And the first thing I noticed with the pacing was just ridiculous how fast it was. and a lot of things was skipped as well. And I guess another reason why they skipped a lot of things was to do the censorship reason as well, because what's his name, Torso, when he first meets Mutsuki in the thingy, the car taxi place, you know, that there is a lot of I think it gets kind of a rapey scene. You know, he takes off her clothes and then he finds out she's a woman, but we never see that really. So I guess due to censorship reasons, they didn't show like stuff like that as well. And like speaking of Mutsuki and like Torso, their whole story progression is just cut so short. It's ridiculous. Like, do you remember the part? Because in the manga, there's like a whole emphasis on this. Like the whole throughout the series, there's like a mini subplot which is all about Mutsuki's development with Torso, like being the main catalyst in it. And then we don't see the part where she's been captured by Torso and she's just living her life and she has the breakdown, you know, the full flashback of her as a kid. We see none of that. It's completely cut off. That was one of the best things. And for me, it's a pretty good highlight for Mutsuki's like character development, I guess. But it's completely cut off. But yeah, back to season. So we're talking about season 1 of Ri, okay? So season 1 of Ri, it, like, despite its fast, like extremely fast pace, no, just fast pacing, it was bearable to watch. And I guess if you're anime only, you could keep up with it. Like, you know, you could kind of understand what's going on, like if you try to watch it without any experience or any knowledge of the manga. Or so I guess, yeah, season 1. But I won't lie, when I heard Asphyxia though, I like that song. I loved it. For me, it was an instant love, that song. So that went straight to my playlist, you know. I'm one of those dudes who have, it went straight to my anime opening playlists. I love it. I still have it now, actually. For me, it was a very good change of pace as well. From it kind of has the same vibes as the Unravel, but it's a bit different, a bit more calming, I guess. When I mean calming, it's like female vocals, pretty nice. That's one of the standout things from Ri, I would say. So then, yeah, the pacing was really bad on the first episode. From then, I didn't know what to expect really. And then everyone was trashing Ri as well, so I'm just like, yeah. For me, season 1, so obviously a few more episodes in, I'm still watching it. It's very fast. Yeah, it's alright. I guess for season 1, I won't trash season 1 too bad. I would say it was tolerable at most. I give it a 6 out of 10, I guess. It was a bad adaptation, but it wasn't garbage, I would say. It was bearable at the most. And I won't lie, some of the episodes in season 1 were quite standout, I would say. Let me think of an episode that was quite standout. When does Shirazu die? I forgot. Let me find that. Shirazu's death. I can't. I'm trying to remember if it was in season 1 or is it in season 2. So let me quick Google. Okay. Yeah, it was in season 1. Quick Google search, found it. So it was episode 12 actually. Last episode. Okay. So like the standout episodes in, for me, was there any standout episodes in Ri? Episode of season 1. So like my standout episode in Ri season 1 has to be the final arc where Shirazu has that spotlight and is dying. For me, that scene was done quite well, I would say. Like the whole like scene was done really well, and like it was really sad and everything. The music was on point as well. But apart from that, there wasn't that much. It was just a blur for me. Yeah, and then I like the part when Haseki also has the when he what's it called, when Ken Kaneki he remembers everything, and then the thingy Unravel plays. He has the fight against who's it against Takizawa. When he has to fight against him, and Unravel, as soon as Unravel came on, I was like, yo, this is lit. For me, that was like one of the decent episodes. That was like the only decent episode that I actually enjoyed throughout season 1 of Tokyo Ghoul Ri. But apart from that, most of it was just bad, so mediocre. And then we get into season 2 of Ri, So this was called part 1, and the second part was called part 2. So part 2 really came like, I don't know, a few months later, a month or two later, just quite soon, but not straight away. So after experiencing Tokyo Ghoul Re, I was like, season 1, I didn't really have that much high hopes of season 2. Despite having such such hopes of season 2, my expectations were still not met, and the thing that happened was it got worse as well. So season 1 season 1 adapted 58 chapters into 12 episodes, right? And then season 2 adapted 121 chapters in 12 episodes. So like, people were complaining about pacing issues before in season 1, and then we should have been grateful for that pacing that we were given, because the pacing got even worse in season 2, man. So like, at this point, if you were not a manga reader and you were still watching Re for some god knows reason why you would be watching this like awful adaptation, you would not know what's going on at all, because so much of the story is just stripped and it's just bare bones stuff, you know, like so much information is so much conversation, interactions, like fights cut down. And actually that's the only thing they focus on, to be honest. That's the one thing they don't really like skim out on, is the fights. I guess it's they're just trying to make it a shonen kind of like vibes. That's the only thing they didn't skim out on. But apart from that, everything else in the story is cut so short, and they just skip so much. Like in season 2, like they're just like some. I remember who did I tell it to? I was telling my friend that, oh bro, did you know? Do you remember the fight between Furuta? No, it's not Uta, the tattoo guy, and Rinji. And who else has a fight in the episode? Amon and his dad, Don Parato. Like, those two fights were done in one episode. It blew his mind, because I remember those two fights, like the whole sequence of those, that took like at least a good month or two, you know, just of chapters to come out. So I remember that fight being so long, but it's just been cut down to one episode. Crazy, you know. And then what can I say about these? Yeah, it was just so fast. Like, everything was fast. It's like 6 or 7 chapters every episode. I'm just like, what's going on? And I'm just like, oh, I remember that. The story progression is so fast. It's ridiculous. And then I don't know what to say, but I'll give it one thing. I enjoyed the opening again from season 2. You know, TK coming back again. Love it. Love a bit of 2K. And then what can I say? I was gonna say something. Wait, I forgot. Oh yes, I remember now. Yeah, but I'll give it to Studio Period for the last episode. The last episode of Tokyo Ghoul ever. Tokyo Ghoul Re episode, season 2, episode 12. That was a pretty good episode. It gave me chills. I won't lie. I guess because they actually slowed down the pace a lot for this one, which was pretty nice. And then we actually had dialogue, like an actual dialogue for once, instead of just having like 1 or 2 words per character, which was a common theme. Like, so much dialogue was just cut out. It was for me the reason why I liked that episode so much. Like, for me, I would say that was like an 8 out of 10 or 9 out of 10 kind of episode. Like, it had action, you know. Obviously, there was always been an emphasis on action with the Studio Period, but I would say it's more because of how the episode was played out in the manga anyway. So like, the manga part of the ending, the whole dialogue, it was good. So like, if you just follow the actual if they would have followed the source properly to begin with, everything would have been good, I guess. But like, the reason why it was good, because they followed the source properly this time. So like, do you know that part where Furuta and Kaneki have a fight, and Furuta has like a monologue? That monologue was pretty good. I thought it was done well, to be honest. But yeah, the whole I liked how as Furuta was talking, we would see like everyone else having a fight, and yeah, stuff like that. We could see what's going on in the background. That was pretty good. So I like that part. That part felt all good and cozy. So I would say that whole episode was pretty good, to be honest. That's what I really liked. That was like the redeeming episode for me. But apart from that, the whole the whole season was trash. So that was pretty much me rambling about the whole Tokyo Ghoul series. But I don't know. I don't understand why Studio Clown decided to do this. Studio Pero, I mean, same thing. Why? Like, what were they thinking when they decided to make this? You know, I don't understand. You know, were they like, oh, let's just make as much money as possible? Were they like, oh, we're done with Tokyo Ghoul, we don't care anymore, let's just get it over and done with? Were they like, oh, running out of money? What was the reason? I would like to know the reason, because obviously I can't complain because I'm consuming this stuff for free, you know. As a Western audience, there's so many like websites and that you can just consume for free, and there, you know, so it could be like a money issue and stuff, but I want to know the real reason. But despite the reason why they've done it this way, they have ruined the series. Like, I mean, not ruined this series. I would say the adaptation of this was just god awful, really. So overall, I only enjoyed Tokyo Ghoul season 1. That's it. Everything else has been trash. These other 3 seasons have been trash. That's as far as I will say. So, in conclusion, right, this is not suitable for anime onlys. None of this. See, Tokyo Ghoul Re is not suitable for anime onlys. You will not understand what is going on. The only people who can enjoy, or even barely, who can even tolerate this atrocity, if I guess what I'm trying to say is that the only purpose you will ever watch this adaptation ever again, unless it's your first time, the only reason you need to watch this adaptation if you read the manga and you want an overview of what's happened. If you want a summary of what's happened, you know, like a little revision, then watch this. If you want it really quickly, you know, because I reckon watching these 2 seasons is still faster than reading it. You know, that's crazy to say, but like, because in most senses, reading is always quicker than watching. But the way they've condensed everything, I reckon it's actually faster to watch. So I reckon that is the only reason you should ever watch this adaptation. If you want a quick summary of everything that's happened, and you've watched it before, so you know everything that happened. Yeah, and that is my final summary on the say. So yeah, Tokyo Ghoul Re season 1 and 2, complete trash. Do not watch unless you want a summary of everything. That was it for me. Bye.